to another Mrs. Monday. Today I'm going to do a tutorial for how to make a Pikachu card. You'll get to see all the different steps in making it. The first step number 1, is to find the picture that you want to use. Now, as we go through this, you'll see that I did not find the best picture to begin with. It's because you want a picture that has thick lines. You don't want to start off with something that doesn't have a clear outline, that's not something that's looking like you can really depict everything. So here is the process of me choosing a picture, and then you have to click out all the pieces that are not going to be black, that are not part of the outline. So you see that I start to do this with this first Pikachu, and I'm like, okay, like you can kind of see like the cheeks, you got the ears, you got the tail, you got the fingers, you got the mouth and the little nose. But once we get into it, you'll see why this was not a good pick. This is not exactly what you want when you're picking these things. So let's kind of see how this works out for me. So the first thing I always do is resize it to the size that I want. So that's what you see me doing here. It's like, okay, what is that size? From the first kind of cards that I was making them bigger cards. So they're kind of more extravagant. Cards that I make later on, I've made them like, so they match like a 5x7 envelope. But these ones are just bigger than life cards. I just hand them to people. So this is me really trying to make this one work. I thought it would. I mean, you can see the cheeks and everything. You would think that it would work just fine. So I choose the colors. You got to contour. And you see, this is me contouring. I go throughout it, try to pick out the pieces that are supposed to be specific colors. I always have one solid contour. That's what you're going to glue on. So you need that one solid base at least. I usually do 2 now. So I usually have like a solid base and then I have another one on top of that. That's not always how it goes. This is me kind of trying to figure out how do you contour correctly. So what you want to do is click all the faces. You want to hide all contours first and then click all the faces. So, you gotta kind of figure it out. It might be a little tricky at first, but you can get there. So this is me realizing, oh, that cheek is kind of part of the thing. It's not going to let me do what I want to do with it. And that's where I'm like, all right, maybe we should scrap this. Maybe we should try something else. This is not going the way that I thought it was going to be going. And I'm like contemplating in my head, all right, what do I do here? What's going on here, right? So eventually I do decide, okay, this isn't what we want. This isn't working. Let's try something different. So this is a very cute Pikachu outline. Again, you got to choose all the spaces that you want black, so when you get into the screen, you can contour correctly. This has nice thick lines. It looks a little like weird on the screen, like it's like, in real life it didn't do that. So I don't know why it looks like that on the screen. It still does when I make this card, but it's alright. I figured it out. I got a contour. So here's me actually figuring out how to contour. Again, solid base, gotta have the solid base. And then we go to the next one and we pick out the next colors. So here I'm gonna pick out all of the yellow colors. So yellow, yellow, those are all yellow. Okay, cool, take that off. Perfect, that's what's gonna be yellow. And you can see me overlapping it. It fits perfectly, it looks good. Here's my cat. Alright, next contour, what are we going to pick this time? I got a stick here. Stick. So this time I'm going to do the cheeks. Those are going to be red. So I got to pick the cheeks and I got to hide the other contours. And then we come out of there. We got the cheeks. Except I did it opposite. I didn't do it right. Always funny when that happens. Unclick the main one. It's easiest if you just hide all contours and then click what you want. But if you mess up, you can hide the main picture. So those are the cheeks. We got the cheeks going. I think I do the eyes next. We got nice white eyes. Hide all contours. Yep, see, we got those nice white eyes. Nice white eyes. Well, they're black right now. There you go. So I changed them to white, so you have those. And the last piece is the mouth. And once we have that all together, then we got what we need to have, right? I'm just like testing things out. I'm like, wait a second. All right, here's the mouth. So again, hide all contours, click on the mouth, and then once you're out of the screen, change the color to whatever color you would like that to be. You can go into these advanced options and like adjust it. It doesn't technically make a big difference as long as all your colors are different for what you want to Cricut differently, if you know which colors match to which. I like to make them very similar though. So here's me actually cutting out the different colors. So we start with whatever it tells us to start. I've actually learned a trick since then, which is to mirror it. That way you can actually get these pieces that are, you know, like they get messed up sometimes on one side, so the other side looks really nice, and if you mirror it, it kind of comes out nice like that. So you just go step by step. The Cricut kind of tells you what to do. First I Cricut out the whites, those are the eyes. This is the longest part usually, is getting the outline of whatever card you're doing. So you can see here, the Cricut has this kind of mind where it's like, all right, we gotta get all these like small spots. And then once it gets all of those spots, then it starts going, I've also started Cricuting on intricate cut because I just think that it helps it to get all of those pieces and be delicate with it. Now this cardstock that I'm using is actually like pretty thick cardstock. I think particularly for the outline, it's nice to have like a really thick cardstock. For the other pieces, like you want a cardstock, you want a thick cardstock. You don't want to just use like paper, thin paper, right? You want to use like nice thick cardstock. You don't necessarily need the thickest cardstock, but the thicker the better, in my opinion, if you can get it for cheap. And you can see it's still like making all these pieces, cut, 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 cut. And eventually, it's going to start cutting that outline. So this is it actually like going and doing the outline. It's kind of cool to watch the Cricut like have a knowledge of what to do. It's like, my husband always says, like, what's the brain? What's it doing? How is it thinking? Right? It's a robot. It's not really thinking. It's programmed to do this. But it is really interesting to watch it do it. So then that's done. You start peeling it off. You can kind of see how it comes out. Once you get, like, the outline out, and you have to be careful with the outline because you don't want to tear it or anything, especially if you have a new mat and you're doing it. That can really kind of hinder things. You can break off pieces here and there, and you don't want to do that. So try to be careful in taking off that outline. Once you have the outline off, then you can start taking out these pieces that are inside of it. And you can kind of see here, I'm like, here, look at this piece. Hey, look at this piece. Hey, look at this piece. You kind of take them off slowly. And then if you have any leftovers, I kind of scrape them off if it's not something that you need. So then you go on to the next color. This is the red for the cheeks. We're getting that done. And these Cricut pretty quickly when it's not the outline, when there's not like a lot of detail to them. You're just kind of in, out. You know, the first thing you do is you make sure that paper's nice and flat, and then you put it in, line it up, and then you press the button for the Cricut to measure it. So there'll be a blinking button. It'll go in, it'll come out, and then you press that button again, which will be blinking, and it will Cricut this. And then look, you get these nice little outlines. So you just go one by one doing this. You know, this is why I'm showing you like what you do on the computer and then what you do as you're doing this at the same time. so you can kind of see the way it flows. And it's not like a long process usually, unless again you have some like really intricate work that you're doing. If it's not intricate work, it happens pretty quickly. You'll see that the design space says 100% before it's even done. So it's kind of like ahead of itself, like it's already sent that information to the Cricut. But it does get through to here. So with this, we only have one spot left, which is the mouth. And then once we have all of those pieces, then we have everything that we can put together to glue together the card. Now let's glue that. Alright, as you can see, we have all the components of Pikachu, but we kind of have to assemble Pikachu because obviously this is not how Pikachu looks. So, take Pikachu apart to put Pikachu back together. But first of all, and you don't need me to tell you how to glue together a card, so you can just kind of watch the process of how that happened. You just go step by step. I mean, I would suggest doing just like the base first and then putting the outline on. But after that, you got to put the things on in layers sometimes. Like you have to put the yellow down before you can put like the eyes and the mouth and stuff. But besides that, you're just gluing. You're just gluing together a card step by step, one at a time. Alright, here we go. We're gonna put him back here. Okay. Put is where you shall go. Thank you. I'll have to perfect those, but obviously they're all close to the edge. Oh my god, no, sticky fingers. Good. Alright, cool. That's pretty good. We're gonna do the tail first. The tail in here. Let's stick down. Okay. Just glue on this tail. Okay. There. There it is. And we can put this one in. That's just going right there. Now this is something to watch out for. I'm a little bit better at it now, but you can get glue all over your fingers, and then you're getting glue all over the card. You'll kind of see once this card is finished, like glue spots on it. I don't have many glue spots nowadays. This is one of the first cards I ever made. So there were glue spots, and I'm just like sticking everything to my fingers, and then I'm trying to like rub glue off of them. If you check out other videos of me making cards, like that is a consistent thing. And obviously here I'm literally putting glue like on my fingers as I'm trying to like get the end of the glue stick because I don't want to waste anything. But it is a very sticky process at times, especially if you have really tiny parts. But I just made this card again the other day, and I didn't have sticky hands, like, at all. So it's very possible to do it without getting sticky hands. This is just me learning how to do the cards. So don't worry too much about the stickiness. I mean, once you get into it, you can do it good. And you can get like little glue pens almost. I had one of those too. So, you know, that'll make it a lot easier. And this is basically just about lining things up correctly. And it's a little bit harder when you don't have the outline and you're just kind of placing the things on top. I usually look at the picture to make sure I'm placing them correctly. So that's all you really need to do, step by step.
These are good. Is that where these went? Over here? I'm trying to line it all up now. Alright. Alright. A little off, but not bad. Alright. I gotta get another glue stick. I got another glue stick. Figure out how these eyes. Like that. Okay, cool. Alright, there we go. There is a Pikachu. Pikachu! Alright, so that was me making a Pikachu card. I hope this is a good tutorial for you guys so you can start making your own cardstock homemade cards. Join in future videos. We do tons of stuff around here. Like, comment, and subscribe. See you later.